The highways get filled with traffic as people scramble to their hometowns for ancestral rites. But people do still get out and have fun, as a picnic culture has emerged in the north to enjoy the usually fine Chuseok weather. It's that time of year again, Chuseok, the mid-autumn celebration that can be found in Korean historical records dating back to the Shilla Kingdom. But how do North Koreans celebrate Chuseok today? We've been scouring numerous sources, from state media to defector testimonies, to find out. The version of Chuseok that you might be most familiar with is the way things are done in South Korea. The highways get filled with traffic as people scramble to their hometowns for ancestral rites. Feasting and festivities run for 3 days, longer when a weekend is attached. In North Korea, there are certainly some differences. For one, Chuseok is not considered the North's most important holiday. There's just 1 day off compared with the longer holiday marking the birthday of national founder Kim Il-sung, for example. And North Korea didn't even recognize Chuseok as a holiday until the late 1980s, having previously considered it incompatible with socialist lifestyles. But that's more about how the regime views Chuseok. Let's look at how the holiday is actually celebrated. There are similar rites in both Koreas, including bowing to ancestors and offering them food and traditional liquor. That's despite the idolization of the leader in the north, where state media has in recent years described Chuseok as a unique folk holiday and a reflection of fine customs. But a one-day holiday means that traveling over longer distances within North Korea is not practical, particularly given its limited public transport infrastructure. The less privileged might not be able to get a domestic travel permit anyway, so North Koreans may or may not have the opportunity to uphold the tradition of visiting ancestors' grave sites. But people do still get out and have fun, as a picnic culture has emerged in the north to enjoy the usually fine Chuseok weather. In any case, the Chuseok festivities in both Koreas will at some point focus on food, often first offered to ancestors and then enjoyed by those present in the physical sense. Even in the hardest times in North Korea, people will at least get hold of a bottle of liquor to place on the offering table. But they will often spend weeks working to get a good spread together, when and where possible, including various rice cakes, meats, fruits, and so on. North Koreans will often present a dish that their ancestors enjoyed, while it's said that they're particularly generous when it comes to sharing food with the poor at this time of year, when smells of food suddenly waft around the nation. And then we have songpyeon. These are half-moon-shaped rice cakes enjoyed throughout the Korean peninsula, particularly during Chuseok. There are various theories as to why they are half-moon-shaped when Chuseok is celebrated under a bright and full harvest moon. One idea is that a half-moon is yet to fill up and so represents hope. And a popular songpyeon superstition that endures in both Koreas holds that if you make a pretty songpyeon, you'll have a pretty daughter. As for the actual experience of eating songpyeon, the kind I usually try is about this big and sweet. But North Korean songpyeon are 2 or even 3 times bigger, representing more of a meal with savory fillings. But despite the Chuseok charity that I spoke to or referred to before, you can still imagine food being a sensitive area between the haves and have-nots. There has been some reported rural resentment in the past over the best of North Korea's fruits being reserved for Pyongyang elites, for instance. Some North Koreans, and South Koreans for that matter, may need to fill up on food though to sustain them for the Chuseok custom of sirum, or Korean wrestling. This is another tradition that's deeply steeped in Korean culture and is a TV event in both the North and South, alongside various other traditional games that people may play. So, Chuseok does remain one of those traditions that broadly unites both Koreas. It's also a time of year when we may spare a thought for divided families. For North or South Koreans whose ancestral hometowns are on the other side of the peninsula, it's impossible to visit. Chuseok used to be a time when Seoul and Pyongyang would arrange family reunions, but they haven't since 2018, and nearly 75 years have passed since the outbreak of the Korean War. For elderly, divided relatives on the south side, they may, along with North Korean-defectors, gather at the border as close as they can get to hold Chuseok ceremonies. But for now, Chuseok remains a poignant period for them. Hopefully that's given you a sense of why it's such a meaningful holiday. And we wish you a happy, peaceful Chuseok wherever you are. Feel free to share your Chuseok messages in the comments below.